Good morning. Happy Monday. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a rough old week here in New Zealand with the weather. But we are in winter, I suppose, and it's not going to be long now, I don't think, and spring is going to burst. The birds are already changing their song in the mornings. I'm not sure if anyone else has noticed. And the trees look like many of them are close to bud burst, which is pretty awesome. So hopefully we might have an early spring, and we could do with some cheer well and truly, couldn't we? So someone has asked me to put to the cards, will New Zealand hold the current government accountable, and how will they be held accountable? It has been a rough couple of years, as we all know, and I don't really like jumping down into the doom and gloom. I really don't. And it feels like my earlier questions have been kind of part of this doom and gloom, and that's not really how I am. As a person, I like to be positive and look on the bright side and all the rest of it, but it's feels like I'm back in that again. But they're really good questions and to ask, and they need to be asked. We need to know where we're heading, and are we going to hold our power in New Zealand? Are we going to get our power back in New Zealand? Our personal power and our country's power. So really with that comes that question. It feels like there's been so many legislation changes that particularly the last 2 years that have had a massive impact on New Zealand, on our life and our livelihoods. And there doesn't seem to be any easing in this at all. We are ridden roughshod over without consultation to get these through. And if there is consultation, they're still pushed through anyhow, and they attempt to push them through. So very interesting times ahead. And then you also look worldwide in the last few days of what's happening in Sri Lanka, the Netherlands, Germany, Austria, Argentina in the last day, India, and the people there are just saying they've had enough of all the changes that are being pushed through over there, the lack of food, the prices of petrol, as well as the economic crashes that are going on internally in their countries. So they're really reasonable questions to actually ask. Where we're heading? Are we going to take our power back? What does that look like? And the other thing is with in New Zealand is there doesn't seem to be any accountability at the moment. Opposition don't seem to be really ruffling any feathers. They're not asking questions like opposition governments have in the past, and really placing fires underneath our current government. And people themselves, and this could be due to COVID and everything that's happened in the last couple of years, but they feel apathetic. They feel disconnected, or their heads are buried in the sand. Or they've got that "it doesn't affect me" syndrome. It's not in my backyard, so I really don't care. And discussions that I've had with other people is really interesting, is that several people have said to me, I actually do not care, which is quite sad, but then everybody looks at things differently, don't they? And I love people, so I kind of throw myself on in there into causes sometimes, because I think it's really important that we each individually have our power and we're recognised, and humanity is so vital. So anyhow, let's go ahead and ask the first question. Will New Zealand hold the current government accountable for their actions. Okay, so let's get these cards shuffled. We'll look at the immediate past. Sorry about that, people. We've had a card that jumped out, as they do sometimes. They're desperate to get out of the pack. So we'll just put that down, and so that the card that I was going to place down was the immediate past. Righty, hooey. There's another one just jumping out. Okay. So we'd like it if no more cards jumped out. Thanks very much. Okay, thank you. So, 3 more cards for the future. Will New Zealand hold the current government accountable? Intuitively, I feel like there is so many more people actually finding their own personal power. There was another one there. And this one here is trying to jump out there as well, so that's our last one there.
Okay, so I think we are all good to go there, people. Let's have a look at that the current past. We actually made these choices and these decisions ourselves. We by allowing, putting our trust, definitely putting our trust in the current government. But this is not just the current government either. This is all in the past as well. We've got the past here happening. And we've given away our power so readily to others. And it's actually blinded us from seeing. And there's some naivety in that as well. Yeah, it's given our power away totally, our freedoms away to some respect. Not all of our freedoms, but our personal freedom, being able to make those choices for ourselves. Let's see what happens for current mental conflict. I hope everyone can see the mental conflict there. I'm just going to turn this one around because it's going to be a bother. New beginnings and emotional withdrawal. That's interesting. There is some mental conflict going on here, some worry, some concern. How do we step out of this? What is our future looking like? It is causing many people some concern, some sleepless nights, definitely. And causing a lot of stress and anxiety about what our future currently looks like. But do not fear, we're new beginnings. So this is absolutely perfect. This is a major card. And we're right on the cusp here now. We're right on the cusp of stepping through to a new time. But there is some deep thinking that needs to go on with this emotional withdrawal as well. We actually need to connect in with ourselves to actually really think about who it is that we are and what do we need for ourselves. We can easily turn this around. But we need to look at our past to step through into our future. And actually, how do we find our own internal power? How do we hold them accountable? How do we collectively connect together? So let's look at the future. Hope. I love this card, Hope. And then we've also got Rejoice and Celebration, and we've got Passion Ignited. This is beautiful. It really is. You cannot ask for any better, really, with having new beginnings and hope in a reading. It's all in our hands. We actually hold the power, and as soon as we realise that, as soon as New Zealanders realise that, we actually hold the power and we can hold them accountable. When we realise that, we will actually step forward, and the worries and the concerns that we've had in the recent past, and the anxiety, the stress, that will fall away because we take back our power and hold that in our solar plexus. And it actually gives us, we actually realise that the choices have always been ours. We just had to step into that. And so therefore we've got the passion ignited, and look at the phoenix coming alive from the heart center as well as that solar plexus. And you've got that beauty to fly. It's actually within us. So really awesome, really great reading.
And this one here is trying to jump out there as well, so that's our last one there. So that was a great outcome out of that question, and it looks really good. It looks great for people of New Zealand, in that they step through into that beautiful new timeline, the Aquarius timeline. The next question was, how will they be held accountable? So first card is the current past, and then we've got the past, sorry, not the current past, the past, and then we've got they're all jumping out today, aren't they? Look, and once we get shifted and up to our new abode for the next wee while, I'll hopefully have a little bit more space again to be able to do these properly. This is the third card for the current, where we are currently. So how will New Zealand hold the current government accountable? The future. Oh, you want to jump out there too, buddy. Okay, and last card, please, Creator. Let's have it. Come on. There we go. Thank you. Wonderful. Let's take a look.
Okay. The past. The Crown Chakra. That's interesting that has come up. And it feels like this has not been awakened for New Zealand or humanity, to be fair. Many of us have not had our crown chakras awakened. It's not been active, and that's your linkage through to the universe, through to God, to spirit, however you term that. That has not been awakened, but it's now a time of awakening, of enlightenment, of stepping through to a new dimension. So this is, as we step through in dimensions and awaken as a country, this is starting to awaken in people. But that has been our past, where that has been closed off. So currently, intuition. It's interesting. Okay, so the intuition card is upside down there. Let's turn over the other two for current. And this goes really alongside with that crown chakra. The intuition for people has not been opened, it's not been active. We haven't relied on that, and that goes along with the pineal gland as well at the third eye. But we haven't trusted our gut instinct, and learning to actually stand within your own power and drawing on that gut instinct again is where that solar plexus is as well. So that's the power center. Trusting in yourself. But that is all changing as well. We've got this door opening, and although this card is upside down, so it does mean the opposite, it also means, for me, I feel it as a power time. I feel that this is a power surge. So currently is patience and planning. There is some work going on in the background within businesses, some high profile business people who have not made themselves visible, and some retired political people who have hidden themselves away as well. But there is work going on to draw this out. There is some unhappy people within leadership in New Zealand who have now awakened to the fact that we've had the wool pulled over our eyes in New Zealand. But the mask is lifting currently. There is work going on currently in the background because the mask has been lifted, but then I see these angels sitting in the background here, supporting this movement forward. So things are changing, time is changing for New Zealand. But as a people, we actually need to come along with this as well. We actually need to start saying enough is enough. We don't choose this anymore. We pay your wages. You work for us. So let's see what happens in the future. Heart chakra, interesting. And new beginnings again. And passion ignited. You wouldn't believe it. You really would not credit it, people. This is incredible. So your heart chakra, of course, is connected to your heart. It holds love and it holds love and sincere feeling and gratitude and the caring of our people in New Zealand and really connecting in with us as a nation. And this is going to enlarge too. The more we connect in and the more we realise and we start connecting in with our communities and with our people and realising that together we can actually change things. The more light we hold over the country and start moving this forward, the better we will be. But that new beginnings card again, we will start voicing our opinions. We will start getting louder about the fact that this is not okay. You cannot keep things hidden from us. They're being dropped out small little steps at the moment. Little things are being dripped out. But those drips, or those drops I should say, those little drops that are being dropped out, that are being fed to us, will become soon a stream. And that stream will then become a river and then become an ocean. And actually, at that point, once it becomes a stream, well, and even before that, we actually will start to stand together and actually hold this and say, we no longer choose you. We no longer want this. And then again, we've got the passion ignited to end this out, which is fabulous. You know, and with number 1 as well being the number of new beginnings, we're stepping through into a whole new timeline where we can actually take back what we asked for.
So, really great reading out of that second question. Yeah, it's just a matter of time now for more people to can start connecting those dots together, more people to realise what those drops are that are being fed, to actually hear what's being told to us. Everything is always in plain sight. So I have learned in the last couple of years, and they've really made it in plain sight. But we have not taken this seriously. We've not heard, we've not opened our eyes, we've not opened our ears, but it is now time to do so. And look, this couldn't be a better reading, really, because it means that we actually get to take back our power. And with that, we actually have to be accountable. We gave that away. Our generations gave that away before us. But now we actually get the chance to take that back. But to do so in the future as well, it means that we actually have to step up, and we've actually got to speak our voice and learn to actually hold people accountable if they're not correct in leadership, and hear our voices. And that is something that we will do. We will learn how to step through into this. So have a beautiful week, people. I'll be back on again on Friday. If anyone has any questions, any new questions, things happening in this country, people, events, what have you, please do let me know. Enjoying giving these to you. I really get such a lot out of it. So if someone comes up with different questions, it always, it's great, because it means not only do I not have to think about it, and that's not me being lazy, it means that someone else is just as interested as I am. So anyway, have a beautiful week. Take care. Keep your feet dry. Let's hope there's not too much snow and too many storms. See you soon. Bye.